I never thought I'd end up in a moment like this. I always believed relationships were built on trust, respect, and honesty, solid pillars. But sometimes pillars don't crack loudly. Sometimes they split quietly, slowly beneath your feet. My name's Ethan, I'm 34, and I've been with Laura for 6 years. She's the kind of woman who fills a room without trying, smart, outgoing, magnetic. I loved that spark in her. I loved feeling like I mattered. Or at least I thought I did. It started small. Offhand jokes, comments that lingered a little too long, gestures I tried to ignore. And then came Alex, her coworker. Charming in a way that turns every head. Friendly, witty, the kind of guy who asks questions that dip just a little too far into personal territory. Laura always brushed it off. It's harmless flirting, she'd laugh. You're overreacting, Ethan. Don't be insecure. So I tried. God knows I tried. I reminded myself of the good. How she stayed up late to help me finish projects. How she remembered every detail of my birthday. How she planned little weekend trips like they were gifts wrapped in magic. Maybe I was overthinking. Maybe I was paranoid. But the unease kept growing. Every time she mentioned Alex. Every time she laughed at a joke he made. Every time I caught those small glances, those inside jokes I wasn't part of. A cold knot formed deeper and deeper in my chest. I finally brought it up gently, in the soft, careful way you do when you don't want to start a war. Laura, I feel like a line is being crossed. I don't mind friendship, but this feels different. She just smiled, that sweet, disarming smile that makes you question your own instincts. You're overreacting. It's nothing. So I swallowed it, pushed it down, told myself to trust. But inside something was tightening, counting every remark, every glance, every notification that popped up with Alex's name. And then one Friday night, after she came home laughing about something he'd said, something in me snapped. Not in anger, but in clarity. I had met someone new at the gym. Sarah. Funny. Easy to talk to. She'd asked me for my number after a casual conversation. Nothing serious, nothing inappropriate. But the potential was there. The line existed. So I sent a message that mirrored Laura's, harmless flirting. Hey, want to grab coffee sometime? Her reply came fast, playful, teasing. The same energy Laura insisted meant nothing. And I felt something shift inside me. Not revenge. Not satisfaction. Balance. For the first time, the scales didn't feel tipped against me. I left my phone on the counter. Laura glanced at it, suspicion flickering in her eyes. Who's that? She asked casually, but her voice had an edge. She already knew. Just someone who asked for my number. I said it calmly. No drama. No raised voice. The way her expression tightened told me everything. Every dismissal. Every "you're overreacting." Every moment she minimized my feelings. It all came crashing back to her at once. It was like she finally saw the boundary she'd been stepping over for months. Ethan, she began, voice softer now, guilt creeping in. I lifted a hand. I know what you meant. And I know what you didn't. She froze, eyes flickering with something she wasn't used to feeling. Not fear of me. Fear of losing control. Fear of finally understanding the weight of her actions. We sat down on the couch. Silence stretched between us, not tense but reflective. Like the moment after a storm when everything is finally still. You're really doing this? She whispered. Yes, I said. Because boundaries matter. What you called just flirting wasn't harmless. Not if it hurt me. She looked down, her fingers twisting nervously. No theatrics. No excuses. Just a quiet acknowledgement that hit harder than any argument ever could. Over the next few days, the change was subtle but unmistakable. She pulled back from Alex. Checked herself. Reevaluated every interaction. And one evening she apologized. A real apology. I didn't understand how much it bothered you. I didn't gloat. I didn't rub it in. I simply nodded. I know. Now you do. Because it was never about revenge. It was about balance. About respect. About reclaiming my voice. Taught me something important. Patience means nothing if the other person doesn't value it. Boundaries mean nothing if only one person honors them. And it taught her something too, something she needed to learn. Respect is not optional. Things didn't transform overnight, but they shifted, slowly, steadily. Our conversations grew more honest. Our connection felt more real. And the flirtation with Alex? It faded naturally, quietly, because she finally understood the line she had crossed. I don't bring him up anymore, and she doesn't either. But the lesson stays with us. Every time I look back, I don't feel pride or bitterness, just clarity. Sometimes the quietest actions speak the loudest truths. Sometimes the calmest boundary teaches the deepest respect. And sometimes the phrase "just flirting" becomes the moment that changes everything.